Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Zach Young, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we're joined by Janet Nambi, founder of Unconscious Brilliance, a coaching and consulting firm dedicated to helping high achievers and founders break through unconscious barriers to success. With a background in finance and certifications in neuro-linguistic programming and transformational coaching, Janet empowers leaders to cultivate conscious leadership, self-awareness, and resilience. Her work supports entrepreneurs in building purpose-driven businesses and thriving personally by overcoming limiting patterns and unlocking their full potential. Janet, a very, very warm welcome to Founders Future.
Thank you. Did you write that?
You know, I'll be honest, I did not. I may or may not have taken your LinkedIn profile and possibly put it into an LLM. But I think it did you well, right? It sounded pretty good.
I would love to be that person.
I love it.
Pretty well. Very well. Yes.
Very good. We have a lot to dive into. It's going to be a fantastic episode. Before we do, I do like to dive into your background a little bit. So before Unconscious Brilliance, before you embarked in entrepreneurship, what were you doing and what was really your inspiration to get into this space?
So before I got into Unconscious Brilliance, I was an entrepreneur myself. I was a founder. I worked in a partnership with two other individuals who were friends before we started the business. This was back in 2006 when we decided to start a recruiting agency. And this was back home in Uganda. I now live in the States, but this was back home in Uganda. And we did grow the agency to 6 countries within Africa. And 10 years down the road, I left. Decided to rediscover myself, got into coaching. And here's where I am. And prior to that, I have a history in banking, 7 years in banking. But I think the most profound time in my career was the 10 years that I spent at the company was called NFT Consult. It's still called because it's still there. I'm the only one that left.
Wow. You must have set up a pretty secure, steady business if it's still going almost 20 years later.
Oh, yes. It was a great partnership. It was secure. I mean, if it was a puzzle, we fit very well, the three of us. We each, whatever strengths we brought to the table, worked very well. Whatever weaknesses we brought to the table, the other person, somebody else had the strengths to, I guess overshadow the weaknesses that the other person had. So it was fantastic.
I got to be honest, when you said you started the business with friends, a little part of me got a little nervous because you know how a lot of those stories go, right? You started off as friends, now no longer friends. So I'm glad you had a different experience than most.
It was totally different. I mean, it was such a blessing that I think we knew the basic principle was that we knew exactly what we wanted to achieve. And there was no compromise. I mean, we needed to follow certain strict set of systems and rules and things that, we tried to maintain boundaries over what we were doing. The business and the friendship we had clear boundaries. So yes, sometimes we made really good friends when we were out doing whatever we needed to do as friends. But when it came to business, we sat down and did what we needed to do for the business to grow. So we knew exactly what we wanted. And that helped a lot.
Yeah. You got to have the right people for that, right? Absolutely. With the same mindset that agree on the big things, right? Business is business. Absolutely. We're friends outside. Let's keep the two separate. I like that Absolutely. A lot. I like that a lot. Let's dive into the present. Walk us through Unconscious Brilliance. What does working with Janet look like? Who were you working with? Everything like that.
Okay. Unconscious Brilliance came to birth when I left the business. Now, the reason I left the other business, by the way, was I was close to burnout. I really was. I mean, we worked hard. Growing a company across borders is no easy joke. And during that period, I had 3 babies. So it was busy. And but a lot of it had to do with my mind and what I thought I was chasing versus what I truly needed. So I did chase the success and I achieved it and almost, was close to burnout. That's when I decided to part ways. Now, lucky for me, my business partners were a married couple, so they, they had the pact, the marriage and the business. They're able to keep that going. So when I stepped out to rediscover myself, I came across coaching, and I thought, okay, this is it. This is what I need to be able to find that um, spark again. And during that time, as I was doing my NLP certification, came across a book that was talking about how we tackle into the unconscious to bring out the brilliance that we already have, but of course we don't know sometimes. So we want somebody else to help us bring it out. And that's how the name came about. Who do I work with right now? Um, Whereas I try to work with founders who are, I found the business, I did the hustle work. Now I am at a point where I need to be the leader that's going to take this business forward, who's going to be a visionary. I do get a lot of leaders looking for the same because the
Mm.
leaders also want to be able to get their people to do what they need to do without having to look over their shoulders or having to be so dependent on them. So that's the person I work with, that person who's the bottleneck, who's not helping their people to grow, who's, basically get out of the way. But the way we get that person out of the way is actually working with them to learn how to get out of the way. So that's the person that I work with.
I'm sure not easy work to do. Probably doesn't happen overnight, right? So I'm
Oh my
curious.
God, not easy at all.
I'm curious about this, how you structure your work with your clients. Is a lot of one-on-one work? Are you meeting, once a week? Is there some group coaching involved? Walk us through how you structure your work.
Right now, I'm currently doing one-on-one work and with hopes that I'll grow into group coaching. And it's basically once a week we meet, we discuss whatever is pressing, whether it's systems, whether it's the person, and of course, with coaching comes personal issues as well. Whatever it is that's in the way, we need to get that out of the way so this person can then be accountable for what they need to do to move forward. So it's once a week and it's a 60-minute session. And of course, they don't get away with just having the conversation. They have to follow up or there's following up on what it is that we've agreed upon during the session. I will send them a brief on what they need to work on or what we discussed actually. And the coaching that I use is it's a combination of things, but I rely a lot on Brooke Castillo's self-coaching model, which basically everything that's around us is just circumstances. What we make those circumstances mean determines the results that we get. So I take my founders or leaders through this coaching process so they can understand what's going on in their mind and how can they change that. And it requires work, it requires going back and taking the lessons learned and implementing them. But sometimes we're talking about systems. What do I need to do in my business? If I am going to recruit, what kind of hire do I need to look for? What is it that I'm missing in my business that I need to that I need to bring into the business versus, I need a body and I need this work done. Do you really need that work done, or do we need to configure the work so you hire the right body for that work? You
Mm.
know, onboarding systems, maybe sometimes it's onboarding, maybe sometimes it's their go-to market process. How do they what do they do to be able to get out there and customers see them or see the business, not the person? So it's a variety of things, and sometimes it's SOPs. They need to write their SOPs, that way everything gets out of their brain into documented SOPs so that their employees can follow them. So it varies, it really varies,
Mm.
and they do the work, come back, I hold them accountable. It's hard to hold a founder accountable because they always come with excuses, but I try to maintain my ground to make sure that they do what they need to do. I mean, if they're going to get the results, they have to do the work. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what it is. It's a 3-month coaching program that I offer initially. And if somebody wants to extend that, they can extend that. But yes, that's the structure of the program. Very simple, really.
Gotcha. Okay. And you're saying founders, so it sounds like there's a pretty wide scope. But have you found there's a specific business niche that you're typically working with, or is this really applicable to just about any founder out there?
Oh my God, business niche. I'm it's a combination, you know. I'm getting service businesses, what founders in service businesses, but also founders that actually have a product of some sort. So it really, because I typically work with the person and getting them to drop certain habits through my tiny habits. I have what I call the tiny habits for founders, which is what I work help them with, which is what I use to help them be able to drop whatever habits they need to drop to get out of the way and let you know the business run without being so dependent on them.
Mhm.
So that's the process I take them through.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking to the back end of the business for a second, how
Mhm.
are these founders, entrepreneurs currently finding you to work with you?
LinkedIn is my place. But I also have a website where I do have links to my assets. So again, if they find me on LinkedIn, they're probably going to go to my website and do the founder growth track quiz or download the founder growth plan to really understand what it is that is holding them back from having that business that doesn't depend on them. And from there, I will get a call or I'll get an email. And that's, take it from there.
Gotcha. Okay. A lot of people, or at least a lot of coaches, founders we have on the show, they struggle with LinkedIn, right? LinkedIn can be tough. They limit your outreach. So I'd love to hear about your LinkedIn strategy. How are you going about finding the right people and getting them into your world?
The one thing I've learned about LinkedIn is what you're telling people in your content. People like value. So if I am dropping something that's usable, something a founder can download and use, maybe it's how do you structure your SOP, or it's an onboarding script, or it's a I want to drop this habit. If what mindset process should I go through to be able to drop this habit? They like value, but also engagement on LinkedIn comes from sharing your own stories. A lot of the engagement I get is from sharing my own personal stories as an ex-founder, experiences that I had. Um, I mean, one of the stories that I think got the most attention was when I decided to leave the previous business because, I'm sure there were a lot of people thinking, how could you leave a business that's flourishing? you know, but engagement from personal stories. They want to hear your story. They want to know how you overcame the very same hurdles that they are going through. Unfortunately for me, got close to burnout, so I decided to leave. But I still have that story to tell. And I have discovered through when I left, a lot of the work I've done is leadership development. So I have discovered what it is that I wish I had at that time. Most likely I still would have left the business to venture out on my own, but if I would have left differently, I would have left not burnt out. I would have had a better plan. I would have left knowing exactly what I'm going to step into again. So it's engaged. The engagement is from your own stories. They want to know exactly it and how you help other people. They want to hear that. So when they hear how you help other people, they do reach out. Um, your results, what kind of transformations are you giving other people in their same, who have the same pain points? So that's really the code in LinkedIn. And I don't go out there trying to find an app that I mean an um, AI that talks about writing posts. We do write posts on LinkedIn, just automated posts. I've tried all that. I've tried all that. Those AIs, they are actually trained to write in that person's voice, whoever came up with it, or the people who came up with it, certain voice.
Mhm.
I mean, of course, I use AI a lot when I write my posts, but find the AI that talks to the same problem that you're trying to solve. Specific AIs that talk to the same problem that you're trying to solve for the people that you're looking for. And I
Mm.
found that AI.
Love it. You got to be careful with those because it seems like, AI has been popular for what, maybe like a year or two now.
Yes.
It seems like even kind of just like the general population, not even only those who are like very deep in AI, but we're getting good at spotting AI. So
Yes.
when we see a
Yes.
post or we see a comment and we're like, that's AI, we automatically throw that away. We never think about it again. So you got to be very careful. Don't lose the human aspect, as you mentioned.
Absolutely. That is so true. You have to take what the AI has given you and tweak it to make it your own.
Hmm.
That's the best way to get engagement. Because yeah, you can spot AI from a mile away. Oh my God. And I never know how to respond to comments that are AI. The person, I mean, you can clearly see that they haven't taken any effort in thinking through their comment. And they're like, how do I respond to this one?
Yeah.
But of course, sometimes I'll be honest with you. Sometimes I'm lazy. Sometimes whatever the first draft that AI gives me, I read through it. Is it giving me the feeling that I'm looking for? Good enough. Let's go. And then I take out the M dashes.
Yeah, that's the important part. Everybody mentions those. Take out the darn M dashes. At least don't be that lazy. Oh, I love it. I love
Once
it.
in a while that I'm lazy. Otherwise, I have to feel what I'm writing. I have to
Yeah.
feel what I'm putting out there. It has to
Mhm.
generate a certain emotion. It has to give a certain result.
Absolutely. Janet, looking forward to the future a little bit. Let's say the next 1 to 2 years. Is there any goals that you've set for yourself and the business that you're looking to achieve?
Oh, yes. My goal in the next year is to actually start a group program.
Hmm.
Yes. That's the direction I want to go. One-on-one work is great. It's fulfilling, especially when you start seeing the results, but it's not sustainable. It really isn't. I mean,
Hmm.
it's all, I mean, both um, processes still require you to be present. But I am also trying to see, in fact, once I step into that group coaching, I want to see how I can leverage AI and have something that works without me having to be present, whether it be some kind of course, I don't know, but that's my future. That's where I'm thinking I want to take the business.
I like that. I think group coaching gets downplayed a lot. They downplay they downplay the power of the people in a small group,
Mm-hmm.
right? Where essentially they're teaching each other and
A
they're
lot.
throwing things back and forth. There's so much value in group coaching.
There's so much value because what you're coaching somebody else, another person going through the same experience. They're looking for the same result,
Mhm.
and you're hitting more than one birds with one stone. So that's my goal.
I love it. Great goal to have. Janet, where can the listeners find you? Where can they connect with you online?
Janet Nambi, LinkedIn, very easy. That's where you can find me. Otherwise, my website is Unconscious Brilliance.
ConsciousBrilliance.com.
.com. Yes.
.com. Love it. I hear a lot of different ones. .co, .io.
I
So
know there's a thousand out. There's a lot of them out there. .org.
I love
Whatever.
it. I love it. Janet, thank you so much for your time. It was an absolute pleasure having you on the show today.
And thank you so much. It's been an amazing pleasure being invited to the show. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. And that will wrap up another inspiring episode of The Founder's Future. To our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to go and connect with Janet on her LinkedIn at Janet Nambi and go and check out her website, unconsciousbrilliance.com. Go book a call with her. Go talk to her on LinkedIn. She's clearly doing very, very good things. So make sure to go pick her brain a little bit. And if you are a business owner, specifically a coach, consultant, or agency owner, and you're looking to scale your business, and you really want to enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to hop on a call with our team and discover how we went from 0 to 30 million per year in less than 3 years. Until then, keep on climbing.